Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today, we have two special guests with us that will be talking about our upcoming youth conference. And again, my name is Mary Andrews. I'm the project coordinator for the Parent Information Center. And some of you may know that we will be hosting a mini conference around transition in August. And we previously did a Facebook Live with some information, but today we will be hearing from our keynote speaker. And I will turn it over to Harley Doolittle, who will have that conversation with Johan. So thank you, Harley, for joining us, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mary. My name is Harley Doolittle, and I work for the Parent Information Center of Delaware. I am a graduate from Centerville Lane Preparatory and the University of Delaware with a Bachelor of the Arts in Philosophy and Geography and minors in History and Public Policy. I've been working at PIC for 6 months, assisting the staff to best serve youth with disabilities and their families. We help parents understand more about IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and empower them to be effective communicators on their own behalf. The aim of this conference is to develop self-advocacy skills in youth and help them learn how they can drive their own transition plan, which simply means developing the next chapter of their life after high school. The more practice we give youth, the better off they will be. I want to introduce Johan Mora Valverde. He is the Youth Engagement Planner at the SPAN Parent Advocacy Center. SPAN is a PTI, a Parent Information Center, just like PIC, but they are stationed in New Jersey. Johan is a national speaker on youth engagement and transition planning under IDEA. He has presented at numerous conferences, including the Office of Special Education, or OSEP, Leadership Conference, where he has worked with OSEP Director Valerie Williams. He has also presented at OSEP's Technical Assistive Center on transition planning, the NTAC-C. Johan facilitates youth chat where young youth get together twice a month and share their experiences in advocacy, and he facilitates SPAN's youth hub where youth write a monthly blog on the transition journey. We are very excited for Johan to keynote at our youth leadership conference and facilitate the youth strand. Without further ado, I welcome Johan Mora Valverde.
Thank you, Harley. Thank you. And thank you for that introduction. I'm excited to start, so I don't want to take any much time from you because I know you have questions for me. But I just want to say I am excited for that event in August. And I'm also excited to share our work and also share how we could do some wonderful things with PIC of Delaware and also with you as well, Harley. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Okay, so my first question, why are you doing this type of work?
So I got involved with SPAN as an intern. And with the SPAN Parent Advocacy Network, when you start doing this work, and just like with PIC of Delaware, right, and you start doing a good job, they find other things for you to do. So I started getting involved with the center as I went from intern to coordinator, now a manager. But really behind all that is, I'm a nephew, I'm an uncle and a sibling to individuals with disabilities. So at one point, I also needed services from SPAN. So I received services, and now I'm on the other end, sharing that information.
Thank you. I think that's a pretty common origin for people to get involved in this work. But
I agree.
If I may transition to our next question, what do you enjoy most about working at SPAN and youth transitioning?
Yeah, I like meeting new people. Really, I like meeting new people and working with a variety of people. I think there's not any person that's the same in general, but especially in our work, we see so much diversity and so many different and special talents and skills and stories that are all just unique. And learning and seeing that in this work has probably been the best thing that I've enjoyed.
I'm glad. Well, I'm glad to hear that you get to see so many,
Mhm.
many people and so many different experiences. So, what are the biggest challenges you face doing this work, and how do you overcome such challenges?
Well, and I think that's what I enjoyed the most about the work is also one of its biggest challenges, right? Because there's so many people with different stories, and so many people who have such a need. In the work that we do, we don't usually get a lot of interest unless there's something at stake in their lives that they need this information or they need to be able to rely on Pick of Delaware or Span or the work that we do. So that's a challenge because you're dealing with people from different backgrounds, you're dealing with people from different languages, you're dealing with people from different cultures, and you can't approach any of them the same way. Even within our own communities, our Black and Brown communities, um, no one is really able to serve in the same way as the next person. So in order to overcome those challenges, you really do have to listen first, right? Keep the mouth and the tongue to the side for a little bit and open up those ears and bring in all this information and try to learn from people and try to just be a silent observer and then help them in the best capacity that we can. Luckily, I'm not the only one at Span. There are so many wonderful other advocates, self advocates at Span that I can rely on. And they have been a very helpful support system for me as well.
Uh, Glad to hear that humanity is this element that's needed.
I
That's just
agree.
needed here, like
Can't
so many places else.
can't say it better myself.
Thanks. So, what do you want for youth to be able to accomplish after hearing you speak at the conference?
Well, first, I want youth to show up. So definitely register, definitely share this information with friends and family. Definitely get out there and come. And you don't have to be someone who necessarily needs Pick of Delaware at the moment, but transition is a very ficky thing, right? Right now, you might not need help, but then when you start looking at colleges, when you start looking at jobs, when you start thinking, well, I kind of want to buy this and buy this, but my parents or my guardian or my support system can't buy everything for me. So, how do I make enough money for that, right? How do I get started? So, these are all questions that even if you identify with disability, or you may not even identify with disability, but you need that support system. You might have issues when it comes to mental health. You might need support when it comes to anxiety. These are all real things that still affect your transition. So show up. That's what I want them to know. I want them to know to show up. And what I want youth to accomplish after they attend is to just become sponges and try to absorb and make new friends, right? I mean, school is wonderful to make friends. Anywhere else in your community is wonderful to make friends. But at these activities and so meeting people can only strengthen your community. So let's come together and I hope to see so many new faces that day.
Yeah, I guess engagement is what, we all want and need to see.
Absolutely. Hmm.
So, is there anything which I didn't ask you that you want youth and their families to be aware of and know about?
Well, I would say if you aren't aware of what a parent and training information center does, if you're not aware of the vast work or the lot of great things that Pick of Delaware does, or the parent centers all together, we are a huge network that there is one of us in each state and including the territories, which means it doesn't stop here. And we have so much information on so many things and so many communities that we can rely on. So if you feel, well, there's not something state specific I need help with, but what about housing, right? I'm planning on moving, I'm planning on doing this. I can answer questions on that as well. So there is really very few times where you can come to an event with as many questions as you can. So I want everyone to know, come to this event with as many questions as you can. And we have a lot of people who, even if we can't answer it that day, who can help us answer it. So I'm excited.
I'm happy to hear that.
Mhm.
And thank you for answering those questions, Johan.
No
And
problem.
sharing more of you and your work with people, will learn from, and when they can learn even more when they come to PIC's Mini Youth Leadership Conference.
Mhm.
So I just like to end off this interview with a set of rapid fire questions. Is that all right with you?
Absolutely. Sounds like fun.
Okay. All right, here we go. So, what was your favorite topic in school?
Recess, because I didn't like really to sit in classrooms. It wasn't my thing. I was a good student, but I think I was too good of a student, so I got bored pretty quickly. So I did enjoy having time to just read my books and play with friends.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm sure I'm sure plenty of folks can relate.
Hmm.
Okay. Do you have any hidden talents?
It's hard to consider it a talent, but I'm also a surfer on the side, so I do travel to surf. So I was recently in San Diego and I did my first time out in Laguna Beach. So I had a lot of fun. I have some videos on that. So if somebody did ask me to watch some videos on me surfing, I would love to show that at the conference. But I would say that's something, I'm Costa Rican, so maybe people know Costa Rican surf. They might know, but slightly hidden.
Well, I certainly think that counts as a talent, like any art sport, and
Thank you.
that's really cool. Okay, so what's the best piece of advice you ever received from someone?
I think the best piece of advice I ever receive is to I'm very, when it comes to looking at wisdom, I do refer to my time growing up in the church. So I always say, don't worry about anything. And I refer back to different parts, such as, the birds and the bees and the animals are out there and they don't have to fend for their food every day. Then, keep yourself centered. Don't worry and keep it calm. But that's my time as, being somebody who went to Sunday school and etc. And I guess that's also surfer mentality, right? Hakuna Matata. We kind of are nonchalant about stressful situations and we figure it out.
All right. Hmm. So, what if you had one kind of magical power, what would you want?
I would want speed. I'm a huge fan of The Flash.
Ah,
I grew up reading DC comics and following the movies and the animated series and the shows. So Speedster, that's easy.
yeah, that's a pretty fun and convenient power.
I agree.
Okay, so, you know, yeah, is there anything you hope for the youth conference to accomplish?
I hope that people come with questions and they get their answers. And if they don't get their answers, they can find out who can get them those answers after that event, right? And to make the connections that they need in order to transition successfully, and become better and stronger and independent, individuals for our communities.
Well, that's a pretty good thing to want.
Mhm.
Thanks. With that said, thank you, Johan, for talking with us today. This Facebook Live will be posted on PIC's Facebook page, so please share with other neurodivergent youth and families. Registration is now open, so please Go to our website and register today. Let me turn this over to Samtra, our transition coordinator, so that she can tell you about other events around transition planning that we are hosting for youth and their families.
Thank you, Harley. Before I get started sharing other events, I just want to thank you. You did an amazing job today, and I wanted to just say that publicly. We're excited at Parent Information Center for all of the activity that's going on around transition planning and getting families equipped with what they need so that their student can be ready and prepared as best as possible for their student to transition to adulthood. Many times, families will reach the end of school without all of the things that they need in place for their student to transition smoothly. And what I want everyone to know is that in Delaware, transition to adulthood planning begins at age 14 or 8th grade. And so it's not too early to start thinking about adulthood. And even if you haven't begun, it's not too late to begin. So I wanted to just be an encouraging voice to begin where you are so that when the end of school comes, adulthood can be approached in a much more smooth fashion and one that is intentional for what is going to be best for your student. To that intention, we have a few events that we have embraced. The first, we did an event already at the end of June, and it was called My Transition Plan Drives the IEP. And it was really to engage families in embracing the transition section of their students' IEP. And that process is actually just too large for one event. So we actually have a second part that we will be hosting on Wednesday, July 24th. This is a virtual event, and we're going to be doing a deep dive into transition assessments because transition assessments are what are the basis for good transition goals. And those assessments are really about getting to know your student better and what their strengths are, what their likes are, the things that they actually may want to do in the way of employment after school concludes. And so we're very excited about that. And we do have information also on PIC's Facebook page on how to register for that event. And so we hope to see you there. We also host transition focus groups twice a month. They are the second and fourth Tuesdays of each month. And it has been a wonderful thing for the families who have decided to join us. We have community building going on. And what that has been about is parents get a chance to come on, connect with other parents who are also in this stage of their students' education journey and who really want to demystify like what's going on with transition, getting familiar with the transition goals and the adult service agencies that are available to help their student. And so I want to encourage you also to go to the PIC Facebook page or also our website to register to join the transition focus groups. We have dates already set up that go to the end of the year. And it's a safe space really to talk about the things that have you concerned. And I love what Johan said is that, you know, we want it to be a worry-free process, but getting information and having a village and a community there to support you is one way to reduce the worries. And I believe that the transition focus groups are really doing that. And so we hope to see you on Saturday, August 24th. For our mini youth conference. It's sure to be, I think, a wonderful event for families, for youth especially. Parent Information Center is really looking to grow the capacity of students and families as they prepare for adulthood. And so we welcome you. Feel free to give us a call if you have an individual or concern and you need some one-on-one technical assistance. We also provide that. And I look forward to connecting with you out there. Harley, back to you. to sign us out?
Oh, thank you. Well, oh boy.
I'm sorry. I think I apologize for that. That's my mistake. I believe we again just wanted to wrap up and say thank you for joining in. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone, have a great day. Thank you for coming.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Harley. Thanks, Johan.